Welcome back here. Destination weddings continue to be pretty popular.
Yeah, throwing a destination wedding is pretty much a 2-for-1. You can enjoy the ceremony, the honeymoon at the same time, and of course you get a little trip out of it. But there are definitely some drawbacks. Joining us live with the pros and cons, Matthew Trettel from The Wedding Guys. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, I mean, first, we're in a really weird time to be planning weddings abroad. I'm sure it's been a real challenge for brides and grooms and their wedding parties, but where are people looking right now? What's the hot spot to get married?
So internationally, Mexico is super easy right now still, and a lot of the resorts are really set up to manage kind of all the COVID protocol pieces and the testing and all of that, which has been really great. They really jumped online really quickly. Dominican Republic is really great as well, a really popular destination. But a lot of couples right now are also looking at local destinations or domestic options. So Montana, there's some beautiful all-inclusive resorts there, but even our North Shore, we're seeing a lot of more couples selecting areas that are closer to home, but still considered a destination wedding.
Yeah, you make a good point, because traditionally when you think destination, you think, you know, an island nation or Mexico or something like that. But just because, I mean, it could be just not exactly where you live and it's still a destination.
Exactly. And so we're seeing a lot of people that are choosing maybe down in Lanesboro. There's a beautiful inn, Sacred Clay Inn is a fantastic place to go and have an entire weekend. It's really about creating a series of events. A destination wedding is really about really having all of your guests come and have an experience that's more than just a one day. And so you can do that anywhere, really.
Sure,
so we're seeing a lot of domestic travel right now, obviously, but certainly those tropical destinations, I think, are perfect for those couples that want to get married in the winter but don't want to have a winter wedding. So a great opportunity also for people that maybe want to manage their guest list a little bit, maybe want to have a little bit more intimate wedding and may have large families, that a traditional wedding might not be the right option for them. Destination wedding usually will kind of limit the number of people that will be attending.
Okay, let's talk about fashion when it comes to destination weddings. Obviously, I would assume it depends on where, you know, said destination. But is it kind of a more casual vibe, generally speaking?
It definitely is. We have some photos that we shared from designer Patricia Benaldi. She has an amazing line called Pat Bow. And she's come out with these collections that are really great for destination weddings. Things that still have a little essence of bridal, but maybe a little bit more fun, certainly things that work well for the beach and other really fun destinations. I think the other piece too with the fashion is the fact that kind of the boho look is really in right now, and that really translates into a destination wedding really easily.
Okay, those dresses are really cool, and I wasn't expecting those with the sleeves and whatnot, but yeah, I like those.
Yeah, something different, right?
For sure. Okay, let's talk about legal considerations. What should people be thinking about if they're planning this destination wedding?
So my biggest advice is definitely hire and work with a travel agent because they can walk you in and out all of the details because there are a lot of logistics. Some countries you have to take a blood test to get married in the country. Certainly with COVID right now, I couldn't even imagine trying to plan a destination wedding without a travel agent. The other piece too is that the travel agents help all of your guests. So the last thing that you want as a couple is to be managing the travel logistics for 20 or 30 or 100. You know, destination weddings have become large again too. So we're seeing a lot of people that might have 100 guests. And can you imagine trying to navigate that? It's hard enough to have a wedding, but then also on top of all of the other details and concerns that guests would have. So definitely the travel agents can also walk you through kind of all of the different guidelines and options, which is really great because with particularly international travel, there are just so many ins and outs of planning a destination wedding.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Cost, generally speaking, are destination weddings more or less than, you know, your typical in your town wedding?
So it really depends on what you're doing. Certainly a bespoke destination wedding can be more than a wedding here because you have to factor in the travel pieces. But in a lot of cases, on average, destination weddings are actually less expensive than a traditional wedding at home. And a lot of that comes into play with the fact that your guests are paying to travel to the destination. A lot of times that means the bride and groom might get services that are comp for them, including their room at the property, depending on how many rooms that they're bringing to the property itself.
Okay.
That would be really cool. So who should consider doing a destination wedding? Who is it maybe
So
not
I
for?
think it's really a kind of a personal preference. I think people that have lots of friends and family that like to travel, great option for them. I think people that want to maybe have a more curated guest list and don't, kind of have the obligation of, would probably have the obligation of having a really large wedding at home. If they want to have something that's more small, choose a destination because that will automatically eliminate some of your guests from attending. And I think also kind of that time of year, like if you really want to have a wedding in January, but you don't want to deal with the snow and ice in Minnesota, think of another alternative location.
Okay, Matthew, I'm going off script here, but I want to get your take. If you are invited to a destination wedding as a guest and you say yes, are you still required to do a gift, or is like you bought airfare, you're paying for a hotel? What's the thought on that? Good question.
Whenever you're invited to a wedding, you should give a gift.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times, couples that are planning destination weddings specifically will tell their guests, this is what you're giving me as a gift. You're coming to be at my wedding. And that's pretty common for people to do. And if they do that, a nice card, a note of thanks for being invited, or doing something a little special for the couple while they're on location, sending them a bottle of wine or champagne to their room would be really fun.
Sure.
That's a great idea.
Good
All right.
ideas.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us this morning. We hope
You're
to see you back
welcome.
here in studio next time, okay?
That sounds great.
Matthew Trettel from The Wedding Guys, thank you.
For more tips and ideas, you can visit theweddingguys.com.
All right, the J